Have you ever noticed that it's the most secure people that are the least inclined to bully other people? And what I'm trying to say with that is that I've noticed that those who are very secure with who they are often do not have this need to put others down. And there's a psychological reason for this. Okay, if you're very unhappy with who you are, if you don't feel secure in your own skin, one of the ways to make yourself feel better is what we call in psychology downwards comparison. Okay, that is when you can look down on other people, when you can compare with others who are worse off than you. And how can you make sure that a lot of people are worse off than you? By putting them down. Okay, so you often see that those who are very insecure deep inside often also have this need to treat others with disdain. And you see that in two situations. A, bullying. Okay, so you often see that people who are secure with themselves, who have no problem with who they are, often are also not the type of people who bully others. Okay, who have this need to put others down. And you also see it with racism and discrimination, what I often compare to bullying. Okay, being bullied is very, very comparable to racism. Why? Because in both cases it is excluding somebody or putting someone down for very arbitrary, unfair reasons. And you also see it with racism. You see often that racism is very much related to a deep sense of insecurity that people have with themselves, due to themselves. Okay, so they're not secure in their own skin. You can see it, for example, in white supremacist groups. You know, these groups with very extreme right-wing views. Often they contain a lot of people that lost in life. Okay, that failed. Okay, people who didn't get a decent job, people who were sometimes even ostracized themselves when they were younger, which really destroyed their sense of self-worth, and a way to regain, not in a healthy way, but in a way to regain a sense of self-esteem, a sense of pride. They put others down, also unfairly, and through an ideology of racism. But that's a very extreme case. You also have people just in general who avoid others because they're black or because they have dark skin or because they're Asian, whatever, doesn't matter. Those who feel insecure with who they are often are the worst racists. Okay? It's just a very weird phenomenon, but in a way it makes sense. So what you see, for example, let's say in Asia has a, I've said it in my previous videos, Asia has a severe racism problem which stems from colonial times. And with that racism problem comes along a deep sense of insecurity. Okay, these people have a strong sense of insecurity because of who they are. Doesn't matter if you're talking about Chinese, Malaysians, Hong Kongers, Filipinos, Indonesians. Due to their colonial heritage, you see that there's a deep sense of insecurity for who they are. Okay, a sense of inferiority towards, in particular, European whites. And what you see is, of course, with this insecurity comes extreme racism. They're hyper-racist towards each other. They're hyper-racist among themselves. And it's fascinating to see. To give you an example, like if you look at Chinese people, for example, they're extreme in general, not everyone, but in general. They're extremely racist towards darker skinned groups and not towards light skinned groups, in particular European whites. However, at the same time, you see that they there's a booming business in plastic surgery to make themselves taller, to make their noses bigger, to get an eyelid. In other words, what does that say? There's an extreme sense of unhappiness with their natural self. And what happens when people are very unhappy with their natural self, even when it's unconscious, they have the tendency and the need to put others down to feel better about themselves. So you get a lot of racism, a lot of bullying. Okay? So what I advise Asians to do is do soul searching. Okay? Why do you feel so bad about yourself? Why do you feel so bad about people who look like you? And why do you feel the need to put others down who do not look like you? Or look up to other people who also do not look like you. Okay? So do some real soul searching. Where does this come from that I feel the need to put others down? Okay? For example, darker skinned groups like Bangladeshi or Indonesians or Africans. Why do you feel the need to put those people down? And why do you feel the need to put yourself lower than another group like Europeans? Ask yourself that question. Do deep soul searching. Because guess what? In every single group, whether it's Europeans, Africans, Asians, it doesn't matter. There's an equal amount of nice people. There's an equal amount of not so nice people. There's an equal amount of intelligent people. There's an equal amount of not so intelligent people. So, in other words, why do you guys hate yourself so much? Why do you hate others so much? And why is there one small group that you admire? Okay? Ask yourself, why has your mind been created this way? And try to get rid of this deep sense of racial insecurity. Okay? If you can get rid of that, you will also start to be open to other people around you. Okay? To people of any background, any group, any appearance. That was just a little thought I had, and let's see if I have another one soon.